assertive, bold, yet playful in nature. Sophisticated, layered, yet well-balanced are its characteristics. Soft, warm, yet it possesses a length and structure to it. Now, all those phrases I just stated, my friends, you can find on the back label of a wine bottle. It's amazing, isn't it? I would really like to sit down someday with those who decide what to put on the back of the label of a wine bottle, because I'm amazed at the language they use. Bold, assertive, yet playful. Now, I've been known to have an occasional glass of red wine or two on occasion, but I've never tasted playful wine. How about you? Nor have I tasted wine that's soft and velvety and warm. Nor have I tasted wine that's sophisticated, well-balanced, and yet complicated. And yet, those are the words that some people, the experts, when it comes to wine, put on the label. I enjoy reading the labels quite simply because it brings a smile to my face. And why not smile? We need to do that every once in a while. So, if you're ever bored, if you ever ask yourself, what should I do and to bring life and humor into my life? Well, go to a store and read some wine bottles for a while. It'll be a perfect cure. Trust me, it'll bring a smile and laughter to your spirit. But as I read those wine bottles on occasion, I'm reminded that I know about wine, but I don't know wine. There's a difference. I know about wine, but I don't know wine. I don't know wine because, of course, I don't have the palate nor the expertise to know what makes a wine complicated and sophisticated and well-balanced. How about you? But yet, labels seem to say so much. Believe it or not, it's one of the top 3 reasons why Mr. Haskell on Saturday mornings, who's on WCCO, owner of Haskell's Wine and Spirits, it's one of the 3 reasons the label on the wine bottle is the reason why people buy wine. The number 1 reason, price. The number 2 reason they want to know, is it sweet or is it on the dry side? And thirdly, they look at the label. Oh, we love labels. And we not only read them, but we place them on ourselves and on other people. And yet we say we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Perhaps we shouldn't judge a wine by its label. Maybe we should just take the opportunity to participate in it, to be able to have a relationship with it, and then, of course, we can make our own judgments upon whether or not this particular vintage is sophisticated, well-balanced, warm, velvety, or has a smoky finish to it. And I would suggest that we not only do that about wine, but more importantly, that we do that about people, and most importantly, that we do that about our God. Because we love to put people and God in a box, or to keep with the metaphor, to keep them in a bottle. Because, of course, it's easier that way. It's easier if we can keep God defined as we see or image God to be. And while that's certainly important, our experience of God and how God has been at work in our lives, we have to always allow, like a good fine wine, you got to open up the bottle, and as the wine experts will say, you got to let it breathe. So if that's true of wine, shouldn't that be true of people? Shouldn't that be true of God? Because God is mystery. And as soon as you and I think that we finally have God figured out and that we have God somehow structured in a way that we know how God works and how God doesn't work and how God acts and how doesn't God act and how God is with these group of people but not with these particular group of people. As soon as we start going down there, my friends, why, then we find ourselves in the same boat that the people are in today's gospel. You know, the native people, the people who saw Jesus grow up, the people that saw Jesus, and of course, they recognize him as one of their own. And it's because of that that their minds have closed and they have Jesus in this bottle. Is this not the carpenter's son? Don't we know his brothers and his sisters? Why, sure we do. Why is he saying these things? And why is he doing these things that are outside the box, that are outside the bottle that they have created for this particular individual? Because of that, Mark tells us that Jesus is unable to do really any kind of miracles in his own native place. So the danger when we box and bottle people and God up is that, of course, we're not open to mystery. We're not open to breath. We're not open to the possibilities. Most importantly, we are not open to transcendence. And that's what we need to be about, because that's what Jesus was about. He was about transcendence. He was about lifting people up. He was about expanding horizons. He was about recognizing that the kingdom of heaven is not out there, but it's right here in our midst. And so Jesus was about a message and miracles and mission that indeed was outside the box or the bottle. And he simply not only wanted himself, but most importantly, he wanted the people to breathe in, to take in, to recognize what it means to be a disciple of Christ. So oftentimes, like that analogy and metaphor of the wine that I used at the beginning of today's homily, it's just like I know about wine, but I don't know wine. So oftentimes we know about Jesus, but we still haven't known Jesus, because it takes a lifetime in being in relationship with the Christ who gives us life and forgiveness and hope and love this day. So as we come to this table, let us not become complacent disciples. Let us see the Almighty anew in what he can do for us and continues to do for us, as we sang in today's opening hymn, that we might recognize anew what the Almighty can do for you and I. But that will require that we allow ourselves the opportunity to remove the labels, to remove the boxes, to open up the bottle, and let it breathe, and let us take him in.